And
Hello.
to everyone watching, I am here to celebrate Farah's recent developments in her business. She's a wonderful role model and case study inside our client attraction accelerator. And yeah, we're celebrating increasing capacity by 40%, monthly recurring revenue, an amazing level of client retention that we've witnessed, right? That you still maintain a year and a half on since you launched your medicine poetry circle. So before we get into these amazing wins and how you got there and all of the jazz, right? We're gonna break down the details for you for everyone. Um, Tell us quickly a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, who you serve. The mic is yours.
Great, thank you. It's really good to be here and always great to share the journey because I know that there's so many people that watch these videos and can relate and are really just trying to share their good work with the world. And um, for me, I went on a long journey of figuring out where to start, and it was through working with you, Hannah, that I was able to clear a lot of that debris and come to clarity to focus on my path as a poetry therapist. And so I created Medicine Poetry, which is an expressive writing and poetry group that's not only focused on the healing or supportive modalities of what expressive arts are. It's
Hmm.
focused on performance and it's focused on helping people, like writers and artists and creatives that come into the circle, to really gain confidence in putting their work out into the world and valuing themselves as creatives, and therefore valuing themselves as people who will actually contribute to the economy and ultimately create a new economy, which is I call the creative economy. And so I run this group circle, and then I also do one-on-one work where people are producing books. I think we've had 4 books in the past 8 or 9 months come through the circle, and more to come.
Oh, that's amazing. I love the effect, the impact that this work has in the world. I think I recently shared in my stories. I mean, it's thanks to working with people like you that I get to have such great pleasure in doing the work.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit, like from the business perspective, where were you at with, you launched the poetry circle, you started getting clients in. What were like your bottlenecks and frustrations with this that made you want to start looking at like, okay, I need to invest in strategy, I need to invest in coaching, I need to move forward.
Well, I think I had a lot of things in the bottleneck, the biggest thing was having clarity, and knowing who my clientele were, and then really, what began to really skyrocket my connection with people was being attracting people who are willing and devotional and committed to doing the work. And that also went alongside my own commitment and devotion. Like, actually, me deciding, like, yes, this is the path that I want to take, and I'm going to give it everything, and everything with good measure. And the other things will come along because I'm quite a multidimensional person. And I have also found that those things have begun to integrate because of my commitment. And then the other thing alongside that was something that I changed recently in the past 3 months, which was really around the messaging and stopping to be in that waiting energy. Again, reflective in my personal life, coming out of waiting for and rather um, allowing people to step into action. And so a lot of my personal adventure had to be matched with my clients because I was unable to attract them if I hadn't fully like understood this. And it was through your reflections, and I went through a couple of months of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but that's because I was staying in that waiting and stuck energy. And then it took a couple of like, pokes and prods and like redirection from you, and then I've just had 2 of my best months in my business in the year and a half that it's been alive. Not even year and a half. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because what I've seen within you in the last 3 to 6 months, but mostly in the last 3 months, there's just been like the speed at which things were happening and changing. It's like we were in conversations, whether that be the one-to-one or group setting, where we were having conversations, we were having these realizations, you implemented some changes, and bam, 2 weeks later, results.
Yeah.
It was just so fascinating. Can you tell us a
Yeah.
little bit more about like what went on in the last 2 months and like the small shifts that, because it wasn't
Yeah.
changing anything. In fact, we
No.
were not changing things. It was just such subtle things that we did. Can you reflect back on what they
Yeah.
were?
I mean, one of the first things that pops into mind is messaging. And over the time that I've worked with you and been in the group container, I have really learnt about my voice and how to use it and what works and what doesn't work. And I've also developed consistency with that. So I know what I'm putting out, and I know, which types of formats to use and who resonates with it. And I really stopped worrying about trying to produce something like for social media, but trying just to get my message across to the people that I wanted. And so that's not necessarily what I wanted to talk about now, but obviously, like, I have a lot more clarity about what my client avatar is and like who I want in my circle, and who wants to be there. And so the other things that were really critical for me in the past few months were um, the that not only like my content messaging, but my engagement with people who are interested and paying interest to me changed. I started having more brave conversations with them in the DMs, and I wasn't shy anymore to call things out and be like, hey, like, this is what I noticed, or like, you expressed interest. And I'll never forget this because I use it in almost every conversation that you've told me many times to ask people, what do you need to get you to this next point, in that conversation. And I'm paraphrasing weirdly there, but ultimately I return back to these conversations and I'm like, hey, you said you wanted this, like, let's get you in there, like, what are the next steps? And more often than not, or like, what's holding you back? And more often than not, that's when I get the truth and I'm like, okay, this is what we can work with. And even one of my circle members tonight said to me right at the end, she said, um, thank you for asking those really subtle questions that bring us back into our bravery. And I saw it in circle happening with performance. And that's what I began to notice I was doing in my messages to people directly. And so the conversation was more real, and I was super direct about what they needed and what they were going to get by working with me in the circle. And I stayed talking to these people. I left people that were wanted to stay in the waiting room, and I worked with the people that wanted to work with me. The other thing I will add to that is that I've also begun working with third parties. So the third party audience, like people that love my work, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to share this." And or I'll ask them to share it, and they share it with their communities. And because of that, because my work is finally resonating with people that I also admire, I'm being shared. And so more people come into my space that are even more qualified. So they come onto my page, and they know who I am and they want to have a conversation with me. Um, and the other thing I will add is that when it came to, um, more of the like bigger, the high ticket clients, was that they also decided on their commitment because I knew what to offer them as well. And I was like, okay, this is the container. This is what we're gonna do. This is what I can offer you. And they trust me. And there's because they've been with me for so long as well. But they also see that so many other people have benefited from the work. So um, like, I don't need to work hard to be trusted anymore,
Yeah.
because of the evidence that I'm
Yeah.
providing in personal conversations and in my streams as well.
Yeah. So I'm hearing like apart from the obvious, right? Your content refinements and all of that, that is like the base of the foundation of marketing. But what I'm hearing also is more empowering sales conversations. And I think that's such a beautiful place to be in, where you don't feel like sales is this hard ass, icky, manipulative process. Rather, it is more of an empowering process for both parties, both for
Yeah,
you and your clients, right?
yeah,
I think that is so beautiful to experience, and I'm so glad you did. What I remember as well is on that topic is we really got you to now we started to scale your business on the marketing end, on the front end, and also in the back end, right? So we went from sales calls that gave you the training and the skills and the insights to then have sales conversations that were effortless, that
Yeah.
increased your enrollments and signups, but also freed up your time on your calendar, right? Um, and on that topic, just a month ago, we are also talking about your capacity inside
Hmm.
your
Right.
container. How do we grow this, right? And the most obvious option for many would be like, well, we'll just add another group, right? But that means adding more into the container,
Hmm.
adding more to your calendar. It means that like that's not scaling, that's adding rather.
Yeah.
We kept your time the same, right? We kept the time on the calendar allocated for the work the same, but we're increasing your capacity to serve more. Can you tell us a little bit of what that was like and how that is going? Because I think you increased your
Yeah.
capacity 40%, 40% increased signups without adding more to your plate.
Yeah. You're right. Like I think I have like one space open in the group container right now, which is wild. And I know I can also like fit maybe maybe one or two more, and that was such a big mindset shift for me because there's this the overgiver in me that wants to like serve serve serve, like I'll do more, like oh people are keen, like
I'm not sure if we lost Farah there. Um, we might have lost Farah for a moment, but this is really amazing. I'm gonna just wait for her to come back.
okay, am I back? Yeah.
Yes, yes, you're back. You're back. Now you're
Okay,
back.
what did I end up saying? Because I was like having a
Um,
good time.
yeah, you were talking about so the mindset shift. Let's go from the
Yeah,
mindset shift that you did.
yeah. So it was the mindset shift from that like overgiving perspective. So like not overgiving, not people pleasing anymore, like really valuing my time and not like trying to run myself dry at the expense of a business that is supposed to give me freedom. And so now we've put in this plan to have people enroll now, so they'll be able to join when there's space again in the new year. And what it's also doing is pushing people to work with me more one on one as well. So it's like and I've also kind of reached capacity there. So now people can sign up with me again months in advance. So that not only is my calendar becoming more manageable, but my calendar is full, and I actually feel like I'm running a business. I'm not just in between. I like we were just talking about before we came on here. Like my calendar is packed, and it's the most incredible feeling because I'm doing my work in the world, and I can literally see the benefits on people's faces and in what they say. And I know I'm only going to go from strength to strength here,
Yeah.
and now that I know that like I have the capacity to do this, the work in its way deepens and gains more integrity, and that's really important for me because I might get to the point now where I don't actually have people entering for a while because I have such high retention that there may not be space for a while, which is a very interesting problem to have. But then, what that does, it catalyzes me into thinking about things like training other people to run circles. So then I can train people to do that, and then that's out of my hands. So the work is still being done.
Yeah.
And um, that's kind of like it's been in the background, but now I'm realizing that it can happen too. So
Beau- Beautiful. Farah, when we first spoke, you told me, Han, like you're the obvious choice. Like you're my obvious choice. You're the coach I want to work with. And that kind of made me realize, okay, if this is how she feels about me, how can I get their clients, how can I get my clients to feel that way about them? And recently you came to tell me that one of your clients told you that. Like you're her obvious choice.
mhm.
And for me, this is what developed the incomparable positioning protocol, right? Like
Yeah.
you are incomparable. This is who you
Yeah.
are, and this is why they're
Mm-hmm.
going to choose you. Um,
Mm.
so I love that that is happening to you, and it's very obvious because it's only by having that installed and in place and embodied can we then have what I call the silent sales system in place, right? Where you're saying,
Mm.
because of
Yeah.
that, as a result of what you're doing, as a result of these minor shifts, we didn't change much, we didn't do any crazy offer changes, we didn't do any we didn't do
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
different, but these small shifts both in your mindset and your leadership, and little tweaks on how you present and have conversations with your prospects and your clients is now triggering. The byproduct is higher retention rates, is people ascending into your one-to-one and high ticket offers. You're customizing packages and programs for people for like long-term projects. Like the kind of work that now you're doing is absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
100%. It's an amazing and very surreal experience.
Yeah.
Um, it puts me into the state of like, okay, now this has happened. Like, what else can I do? If I can do this, what else can I do? But like still learning to stabilize within this energy and really relishing the fact that I have these incredible relationships with clients and that even if I don't have capacity to take on more, I'm still going to put my work out into the world um, and I'm going to be that person that I'm teaching other people to be as well around my expression. And the other added benefit of this is that it also gives me more spaciousness to be the creator that I am. Right? So like, and this is ultimately like what creativity needs is spaciousness. So right now I'm actually getting that spaciousness and I'm claiming it because I've created this baseline of the business that's beating like a real heartbeat right now.
Yeah.
Um, and Yeah, I'm beginning to ramble, but I feel I feel so yeah, I feel like it's all worth it, and I really love what you were saying around the incomparable piece because it's a second or third time I've actually heard that word come my way in personal ways and through the business. And um, you know, when we make big changes in life, it's so easy to compare ourselves to what may potentially replace us, but we are incomparable. We are who we are, and we carry our unique medicine. And that's what I teach people in the circle, as the messengers. Like that's why they have to do the work because
Yeah,
like people need their message. Like people need my message and my work, and
absolutely.
yeah, multiple clients are coming to me now for that, and they're coming out of the woodwork too, which is like I'm getting messages from people I wouldn't expect, and they're like, hey, like I really want to work with you, and I'm like, how do you want to work with me? They're like, I don't know, I just want to be in the room with you, and I'm like,
Nice.
literally, one of my clients is like, you can coach me, you can help me write a book, but I just want to be in the room with you. And I was like, okay, great. So we're doing lots of tailored, amazing stuff there. And it
Yeah,
again allows me to be in that creative spaciousness
yeah,
space.
yeah. Amazing.
You know, I'm grateful for it. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens next for me. And it's giving me a sense of ease and inspiration. Like I'm inspiring myself now.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I did it, and I can continue doing it.
Oh my God. So yeah, we're looking at inbound leads, we're looking at client retention, we're looking at increasing your capacity and scaling the business. But scaling the business in a way that or that allows you to have that creative space, that allows you to, be you and have that spaciousness, right? Because that's important. We don't want scaling at the expense of having more and doing more and burning out is not scaling, it's just adding. But
Yeah,
that's not the concept of scaling, right? So
exactly.
if you could say one thing to someone who is watching today and who may be on the fence and like, okay, I want to scale my business, or I want to, increase my capacity, or like they're where you at they're where you were at a few months ago, like what would you tell them?
Two things are coming to mind, and like one of them is like is you have the capacity to be brave. Like you are brave. Like believe in yourself. Like I know it's so cliche, but seriously, like just put your bravery pants on and do it because you can do it. People in my circle tell me all the time, I'm not going to share. Like I feel sad. I give them a little like, and then they do it and they're like, "Oh, I can do it." And like there's no time to waste. Okay, so maybe there's so that's the second thing, and then the third thing is keep showing up. I went through a really incredible period of darkness in the past couple months, same months that my business has grown. And it's that same grief and change that has propelled me into this space. And so keep showing up and being consistent with your message. And
Yeah.
you really had to shake me and help me do that. And I did it. Um, and I kept showing up with my work. And it wasn't about what was happening in the background, but it fueled the work too, because it helped me show up authentically. And that I think is the last thing that I'll add there is that it's so important, and people can feel it that you be who you are. Like not and that's what I love about working with you is that you're trying to help us be us.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that people that struggle to really retain clients and actually get the clients they want, they're not being themselves. I send voice notes to prospective clients. I ask them first consent, and they can hear me. They can hear my enthusiasm and my excitement, and that draws them to me. So be yourself, be authentic, strip away the mask, be devotional, don't waste time, and along with the devotion, be brave. You know,
Yeah.
like there's just do it. you
I
know.
love, I love the clarity and the assertiveness in that. And thank you so much for sharing this journey with us and with our audience.
You're so
If
welcome.
if anyone is watching this and you're like, yep, this is exactly what I need for my next step. If you're thinking that that's me, send me a message. And yeah, we'll just get started.
Yes, do it. Take the leap. It's worth it.
Thank you, Farrah. Lots of love.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Let's just make sure that this is
Yes. Still recording.